بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. Peace be upon you, O Master of Martyrs. Peace be upon you, O Father of Ruqayyah, the one who was left in the plains of Karbala without a father. Tonight we commemorate and we remember another daughter that was left without a father. Hamida, the daughter of Muslim ibn Aqeel, Salamullahi alayh. Tonight is the night of Muslim. Yes, he was not killed, he was not martyred during the battle of Karbala. However, he played a massive role before the tragedy of Karbala. And tonight, inshaAllah, with the presence of Sayyid Reda al-Musawi, we will be talking about what his role was, who he was specifically, and what he was prevented from doing, inshaAllah. So without further ado, I would like to welcome my dear friend and Khadim al-Hussein, Sayyid Reda al-Musawi. Salamun alaykum.
Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah.
Ahlan wa sahlan, Sayyidina, Azzamallah ajurak. Sayyidina, tonight is the night of Muslim, which means we are crossing into the halfway point of these 10 nights. This is where the heavy nights begin, inshaAllah. After this we commemorate the Ansar, then Abu Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam, then Al-Qasim, son of Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam, then Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam, then Tifl al-Radi', then Abu Abdullah al-Hussein on the day of Ashura. But tonight, Muslim ibn Aqeel. Why do we commemorate him? He died before Karbala, but he played a vital role as the messenger of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. But who else was he? What was his main role?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. القول مني في جميع الأشياء قول آل محمد فيما أسر وما أعلن وفيما بلغني عنهم وفيما لم يبلغني. Muslim ibn Aqeel well and truly is a character that is of great importance, especially with the message of Imam al-Hussein and the movement, the eternal movement of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Muslim ibn Aqeel played a crucial role, and his movement is honored with every year that we mention Karbala. We mention Muslim ibn Aqeel alayhi salam and the oppression that occurred to him, the representative, the Safir of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And similarly to how we honor it, unfortunately, every year you have these movements and these people with their opinions that try to diminish this great achievement of Muslim ibn Aqeel, and they try to question the movement of Muslim ibn Aqeel. Of these questions and of these misconceptions that they place in the name of Muslim ibn Aqeel, and this is important for us to analyze and to refute, so we can get a deeper understanding of Muslim ibn Aqeel, and also to remove these misconceptions, which is that Muslim ibn Aqeel, when he reached to Al-Kufa, they say that up to 18,000 people pledged allegiance to Abu Abdullah through him.
It's a large number.
Very large
especially
number
at that time.
And that's the minimum number that the narrations mention. Some narrations mention up to 40,000. Really not a small number when you look at it. And then at the time when he first entered and he had these people supporting him, the person that was ruling at the time in Kufa was An-Nu'man ibn Bashir al-Ansari. This man, who was appointed by the Umayyad Empire, was known amongst the other leaders to be a weak man, a person of, he does not have a decision, he doesn't have a qarar, he doesn't have a character. So someone may look at this and may say, well, these two things clearly show that Muslim could have taken over. He had the numbers, there was a weak leader, he could have easily taken over, killed An-Nu'man, and Kufa would have been completely prepared for Imam al-Hussein. Why didn't he do so? Why didn't Muslim act on this?
A frequently asked question.
Ahsantum. But let's look at who Muslim was, why he even was sent in the first place. And the phrase is, Muslim went as a Safir, a representative, a diplomatic official, if you will, of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And when we look at the message of Imam Hussein to the people of Kufa that he sent in the hand of Muslim, he says, فإن هانئ وسعيد قد قدم علي بكتبكم وقد فهمت ما كتبتم وما تكلمتم به وقد بعثت إليكم أخي وابن عمي وثقتي من أهل بيتي مسلم بن عقيل, that I have received the letters that you have sent me and what you want from me, and as a result I have sent my brother and my cousin and my trusted one from my Ahl al-Bayt. That Thiqati. It's as if he's saying my right-hand man, Muslim ibn Aqeel.
Yeah, and Muslim ibn Aqeel has the right to speak on behalf of Abu Abdullah in this instance.
Complete authority from Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And then he says, وَقَدْ أَمَرْتُهُ. Here's the role, what we can understand. وَقَدْ أَمَرْتُهُ أَنْ يَكْتُبَ إِلَيَّ بِحَالِكُمْ. I have ordered him to do what? To write to me of what's happening.
Yeah.
The political situation, the Ansar, the people that are affiliated with us or not. يكتب إليك بحالكم فإن كتب لي باجتماع ملائكم وأهل الفضل والحجة منكم على ما جاءت به رسلكم أقدم إليكم إن شاء الله. So we understand from this, what was Muslims' role? To write to Imam al-Hussein, to go and to see what the environment was like.
Yeah.
And if Muslim was to see that everything is prepared for Imam al-Hussein, he would write the letter and he would tell Imam al-Hussein, everyone's ready for you, Abu Abdullah. Nothing in that did Imam al-Hussein say, if you see the environment ready, then take over or overthrow or kill anyone.
Yeah.
It was the order of the Imam.
Specific instructions, yeah.
And Muslim ibn Aqeel was in the heart of the obedience towards the Imam of his time. Muslim ibn Aqeel, the reason why he has this status, and you notice this with the characters of Karbala, whether it's al-Banin, whether it's Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, whether it's Muslim ibn Aqeel, whether it's Ali al-Akbar, whether it's the Ansar. You see the defining point, the similar characteristic that's present with all of them is their obedience to the Imam of their time.
So
that is what
very
elevates
good point.
them.
Yeah.
That is what makes them who they are. That is the heart and the core of religion. Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam says that when we want to understand religion, he says, ذروة الأمر وسنامه ومفتاحه وباب الأشياء ورضا الرحمن تبارك وتعالى. The heart of religion, the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal, the core of this faith, الطاعة للإمام بعد معرفته.
Yeah.
The obedience of God's representative of his time and the ma'rifah, to also know who he is. Muslim ibn Aqeel knows who Imam al-Hussein is. And when he knows who Imam al-Hussein is, he will have complete obedience to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam.
Salamullahi alayhi. So did he have an actual opportunity to take over Kufa?
We see that...
Because they are big numbers. You're saying minimum, what, 18,000?
18 to 40,000.
To 40,000. That's an army.
He had every opportunity. But like we said, it was the order of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam for him to report and to send the report back to Imam al-Hussein. And he would not dare to cross a line that Imam al-Hussein had not given him in the first place.
Of course.
And we see this as well, that not only did he have the opportunity to take over Kufa, even when Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad was to enter and infiltrate, Muslim ibn Aqeel had a golden opportunity to kill him. A golden opportunity. We see this. Muslim ibn Aqeel was with Shurayk ibn al-A'war. Shurayk ibn al-A'war, many people don't know this, but he was of the loyal companions of the Imam and a lover of Ahl al-Bayt. He was in al-Basra.
Yeah.
Him and Shurayk ibn al-A'war were in the house of Hani. To a degree, Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad knew Shurayk ibn al-A'war. Shurayk ibn al-A'war was an old man. When he first entered, Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad wanted to visit Shurayk. He heard about this. He received a letter of Shurayk. He told Muslim and Hani, he said, look, he's going to come to this house. He's going to come visit me. Muslim, you hide. When the opportunity comes, he's going to be in the house. He's going to be by himself. Kill him. Kill him and end this. This is the golden opportunity. Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad comes. He visits Shurayk. He's speaking with Shurayk. Shurayk starts giving hints to Muslim. Muslim is hiding. he starts giving hints to Muslim. And we see this, he starts giving poetry in front of Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, but he's hinting towards Muslim. He says, مَا الْإِنْتِظَارُ بِسَلْمَى مَا تُحَيُّوهَا حَيُّ سَلْمَى وَحَيُّ مَنْ يُحَيِّيهَا. That giving that poetry alluding to the fact that, come on, like this is your opportunity. And then he started being more explicit. He started saying, اسقيها ولو كانت فيها نفسي. اسقنيها ولو كانت فيها. Like, do it now, even if it means my death. Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad started looking, he started getting suspicious. Like, what's wrong with Shuraik? He's starting to act weird.
He's overdoing it.
He left.
Yeah.
He left.
Yeah.
Ubayd, he saw that it was getting suspicious. Ubayd, he left. He ran away. Muslim then comes out. Shuraik, as we would say, he started ripping his hair apart. Like, what were you doing? This was the golden opportunity. This was the opportunity that you could have had to kill him and end him once and for all. Muslim ibn Aqeel had two reasons. First reason, he was in the house of Hanit. And for one reason or another, Hanit did not want the death of Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad to be in his house. So Muslim did not want to disrespect Hanit. As we know, let's say you are invited to someone's house, you do not want to act and do something that the house owner would not want himself.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And secondly, the way of Ahlul Bayt is not to betray. Their path is not betrayal. We see this.
It's true.
When we want to read into Muslim ibn Aqeel, this is very important. We have to understand Muslim ibn Aqeel was raised, or as we say, terbayat Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ali ibn Abi Talib practically raised him like he did Al-Hasan wal-Hussein. In the battles that Ali ibn Abi Talib would carry out, Hasan and Hussein were on the right and he was on the left. He would take this flank and the Hasan and Hussein would take the other. This is a man that...
holding a flank of Amir al-Mu'mineen.
He was raised in this. So when we want to look at Muslim and the actions that he does, let's look at Ali ibn Abi Talib. If you look at it from a political standpoint, let's say, we can say that both Ali ibn Abi Talib and Muslim ibn Aqeel, their decisions are completely illogical. Because politics is flawed. Politics is a game of deception. Politics is a game of someone who has no religion, has no morals, has no moral compass. I'll give you an example. You have Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Talha and Zubair come to him after Imam Ali received the caliphate. They tell him, we want to go Umrah. Amir al-Mu'mineen tells them, you're not going Umrah. تريدون الغدرة وليس العمرة. Because he knows they're not actually wanting to go Umrah. They want to go to Al-Basra, where they will get their army and they'll get their camel and that woman on top of that camel and start a battle with Amir al-Mu'mineen. But regardless of that, he told them, but he was like, regardless of that, you can go. Politically speaking, if we were to see a ruler do that, we would be like, that's the worst thing you can ever do. Because you have a probable cause that these people will betray you, but you let them free.
That's a straight death sentence nowadays.
Exactly. So when we want to come and judge Muslim ibn Aqeel, we look at his teacher. And when we look at his teacher, we see that they act by the rules of Allah, trying to earn the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal, not the pleasure of the people. Because if they wanted to play the dirty game of politics, they would have destroyed everyone. Amir al-Mu'mineen says it. لَيْسَ مُعَاوِيَ بِأَدْهَى مِنِّي. Muawiyah is not more cunning than I am. If I wanted to play his game, I would destroy him. Because he knows what I'm capable of. This man that the companion he would say when we would go into battle and we would want to know where Ali ibn Abi Talib is, we will just be looking for the flying limbs and the flying heads. We'll be like, there's Ali. He'll be like, لَيْسَ مُعَاوِيَ بِأَدْهَى مِنِّي. But I fear Allah Azza wa Jal. This man does not fear Allah. The enemies of Ahlul Bayt do not fear Allah. You have the example with Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi. He goes to Al-Basra. He says, look, I'm not Ali ibn Abi Talib. قال الله قال الرسول. I want an army and I want to battle. Anyone who is incapable, let him tell me now. An old man comes to him, shivering and blind. He says, yeah, Amir, you see me. This is my say. I'm shivering, I'm blind, I cannot act. Al-Hajjaj was sitting down with his friends. They were eating. He was like, yeah, I can clearly see you are in no state to fight. You would not help me. Executioner, come cut his head off. He cut his head off in front of Al-Hajjaj and his head fell on the food. And his generals were with him. They were like, don't worry, remove the head and start eating. Ali ibn Abi Talib can do that and then everyone will be straight to 180, as they say. No one would go against the Imam. But the Imam fears Allah Azza wa Jal. Muslim ibn Aqeel could betray, could kill.
Easily.
Easily. And no one is braver than them. We see this when Muslim ibn Aqeel fights in Kufa when he was alone. They were sending waves of men, to the point where Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad was in his castle. He said, Wayhakum, what are you doing? Why are you taking this long? The general comes back, he was like, Wayhak inta. أرسلتنا إلى بقال من بقاقيل الكوفة. Did you send us to a shop market owner? You sent us to Muslim. You sent us to the soldier of Ali ibn Abi Talib, the general of Ali ibn Abi Talib. So if they wanted to, they could have destroyed their enemies, but they fear Allah Azza wa Jal. Muslim ibn Aqeel could have done that deed, and he could have killed Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad right then and there. He could have taken over Al-Kufa right then and there. But they fear Allah. They do not play this dirty game of politics, because that's what politics is, especially at that time. It's a dirty game, and a game where you have to sell your soul to the devil. And that is how it works.
And not a single member of the Ahlul Bayt or their close companions ever got involved in these sly assassination tactics.
Ahsan.
It was always face me one-on-one.
Ahsan.
Face me one-on-one. And that's something that we should apply to our lives as well when it comes to backbiting, when it comes to being sly to get our way, even in the Husseyniyat, in the workplace. No, if I have an issue, I will address it to you. If I have a problem, I will address it to you, and I expect you to address it to me. We need to be a bit more straightforward and a bit more like this, we say.
Ahsan, that is very important. You have, unfortunately, nowadays, someone will come, he will smile to your face, then you leave, and he will destroy you. He will destroy your reputation. He will destroy everything about you. There's this story once, back in the days when a person was with his group of friends in the house. He told them, let me go get something and I'll be back. He's with his group of friends in his own house. He leaves, his group of friends start backbiting him, destroying his reputation, everything that he stands for, destroying it. The man comes back and he tells them, do you know why I left? They said, why? He was like, I just bought, and that was back in the days, he said, I just bought a voice recorder and I was recording your voices, and I went to get the device so you guys can hear what you guys were saying. He didn't know khati, it was from his own kindness. He opens the voice and then he starts hearing his friends backbiting him. One of the friends that was there, he was like, when I was faced with this, I wish I would have died right then and there from the embarrassment. So we need to be more straightforward and take Muslim Aqeel as an example with that aspect, a very important thing.
Yeah, most definitely. I don't think that we need to understand, before we get into the next point, is Muslim Aqeel, like you said, could have taken over Kufa. But at the end of the day, the events that need to happen, like the tragedy of Karbala, which saves Islam, it needs to happen. So if Muslim Aqeel had taken over Kufa, Karbala may not have happened as a series of events. So this is all part of the greater plan. Abu Abdullah could have told Muslim, once you have the followers, clear the path for us, we're coming through. But if Karbala did not happen, if that catalyst of an event did not happen, then the world we are living in now would be completely different. And I think, we need to understand that when it comes to a lot of events, even for example the treaty of Imam al-Hassan and Muawiyah, if that treaty didn't happen, we may not have had Karbala, or may not have had other events that saved our religion, saved us as humans. And that's another point that I think we need to understand, because people do ask, why did he not take over? Why did, for example, Imam Ali not rise after attacking the house? Why did he stay quiet? No, there is a bigger plan. There is a bigger picture. We may not understand it, but when it's from above, we don't need to understand everything. From above is from above. Look at the natija of that stance.
Of course.
That's something we need to remember. But we were talking about how Muslim had the opportunity to kill Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad and had the following to take over the whole city of Kufa. How did that balance flip? How did Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad take over so quickly when the previous governor was so weak? He had no character. Ubaydullah comes in. How does he scatter those 40,000 or 18,000? How does he scatter those people? How does he flip the table?
Ahsantum. This is a very good point that is also often argued about Muslim Aqeel. That how did he do this? How did Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad take control of everything? First step that he took, anyone that would be posed as a threat, was either killed or was either imprisoned. Of them are Al-Mukhtar al-Thaqafi.
I was going to mention, yeah.
Imprisoned.
Yeah.
And another fun fact that many people do not know, Maytham al-Tammar. Many people think that Maytham al-Tammar, Amir al-Mu'mineen promised him, he told him, you will be crucified on a tree and your tongue will be cut out and what will happen to you happened to you. Everyone thinks that it was shortly after Amir al-Mu'mineen's time. It was less than a month before the death of Imam Hussein. Maytham al-Tammar, his death was almost 20 to 25 days before the death of Imam Hussein. And as we know, Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad is the one that kills Maytham al-Tammar, where he walks into the court of Ubaidullah, one of the men of Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad, introduces Maytham. He says, هذا الكذاب مولى الكذاب علي ibn Abi Talib.
لا إله إلا الله.
This is the liar, the servant of the liar, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Maytham al-Tammar looks at Ubaidullah. He says, oh, Amir, I have a question. Oh, I have a comment. He said, what's a comment? He said, this guy's lying. He said, why? He says, أنا الصادق مولى الصادق علي ibn Abi Talib عليه السلام.
يا علي.
I am the Sadiq, son of the Sadiq. And then we have the story of when he was crucified, and then everyone starts swarming around him because he kept saying the fada'il of Ali ibn Abi Talib. And another fun fact, some people, they speak about this, they say that the person that instilled the idea of taking revenge for Imam al-Hussein to al-Mukhtar al-Thaqafi was Maytham al-Tammar when he was in prison. He would tell al-Mukhtar that, look, all of us are going to die. You're the only one that's going to stay. You are to take revenge for what is going to happen to Imam al-Hussein. So Ubaidullah would do this to the people, he would kill them. The second step that he would take is that he will send anyone who has social presence to convince them to leave Muslim and to instill false rumors and fear by saying that Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad is getting and bringing a large army from Sham, so save yourselves. He would first influence who? The tribal leaders.
Yeah.
Because once you influence the top, the rest will become easy. The third thing that he would do, he would send a group of men, of them Shimr, to the houses, and he would tell them that you will be guaranteed safety if you stay in your homes. Do not leave the homes and obey Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad because he has a great army coming.
Yeah.
So stay in your homes.
Played the fear card.
Of course, the propaganda.
Yeah.
We spoke about this the other night. Like this propaganda is what Muawiyah would do, and that is what made everyone be with them instead of Ahl al-Bayt, the twisting of the truth. And then his final point, he would send the tribal leaders to stand on the castle of Imara, and he would tell them, the tribal leaders, to tell their people, promise them money, promise them land, reward and rizq if they stayed at home and they left Muslim. And if he felt like they weren't listening, he would start threatening them. The next step was to threaten them with prison, with death, and that is where we see, even in the Musalsal, where the women start grabbing their men slowly, and then Muslim, he would enter Salat al-Maghrib, he would have less, and then after Isha he would have less, until he would have no one, until he reached the house of Taw'a. But before I end on this point, I want to mention Taw'a, salamullahi alayha, that whenever you mention Muslim, she is mentioned.
She's a vital part of that.
She has become eternal in history for what she done and her mawqif with Muslim. And Muslim even said that you will receive the intercession of my grandfather Rasulullah for what you done. I want a quick lesson to learn from Taw'a. And inshallah she will give us our hawa'ij, this servant of Ahl al-Bayt, this servant of al-Zahra. Taw'a, just a background understanding of her. She was to look at her environment. She was the servant in the house of Al-Ash'ath ibn Qais. She was the servant, a jariyah, in the house of Ash'ath ibn Qais. Al-Ash'ath ibn Qais was the one who was the partner in crime of Ibn Muljam. The one who would prepare the weapons, the poison, and he was the partner in crime of Ibn Muljam, and he was there on the day that Imam Ali was struck.
Yeah.
Also, she was in that house. Who was his daughter, Al-Ash'ath? Ja'da, bint al-Ash'ath. Who is Ja'da? The one who poisoned Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam, the wife of Imam al-Hasan. She was also with Muhammad ibn al-Ash'ath, who was the one who, when we read the Maqtal of Muslim, was the one who struck Muslim on the face and ripped his face open. That was why Muslim, when he wanted to drink the water, the blood will fall into the water and he couldn't drink from it. After that, you have Al-Qais ibn al-Ash'ath, also the son, one of the people who was there on Ashura, and one of the people who was known for robbing the clothes from Imam Hussein alayhi salam, taking the clothes from his back.
Allahu Akbar.
Look at the environment of hers. After that,
What sort of family is this?
then she was sold to another person by the name of
La ilaha illallah.
Usayd ibn Malik al-Hadrami. Who is Usayd ibn Malik al-Hadrami? La ilaha, I cannot even, one of the 10 people who carried the horses on the body of Imam al-Hussein. She was sold to Usayd
La ilaha illallah.
al-Hadrami, and he married her, and they had a son. And her son was Bilal ibn Usayd, the one who exposed Muslim and told Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad that Muslim is in my house. This is the lesson right there. This woman came from this environment. How did she turn out to be like that? How did she turn out to have this loyalty to Ahlul Bayt? You see the environment that she was in. And this gives us a lesson. Our environment is no excuse.
Yeah.
Many of us can be raised in an environment that is not well. Do not blame your environment, because you can always change.
Yeah.
And you see this with her, salamullahi alayha. The people that she was around, not only criminals, not only people that were bad people, no, people that were genuinely devils from the devils of the ins.
All those names you mentioned, those roles that they had, they weren't just bad people, but they had specific roles that you can't even mention.
Of
some
the
of the
worst
stuff
of the world. That's why I'm saying, when I mention this, my blood boils. But you see that she was in this environment, but as long as you have the love of Ahlul Bayt, as long as you have the wala of Ahlul Bayt, do not blame your environment and then as a result say, oh, I have a bad environment, I'm not going to do anything with my future. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to do nothing. Because at the end of the day, in Kufa, there were many people who actually were with Muslim ibn Aqeel.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Many people don't know this. The tragedy of Muslim is very, very heartbreaking. As we know that he was decapitated. He was dragged throughout the streets of Al-Kufa. Throughout, they would say, every street and every avenue, they would drag his body across. And the people that were around him had sticks. And they would be poking the body of Muslim ibn Aqeel when it would go through. But do you know where they later threw his body, him and Hanit? They would say, Kanasat al-Kufa, where they would pile up, astaghfirullah, the rubbish. They would pile up the rubbish there, and they would drag Hanit and Muslim ibn Aqeel's body, and they would throw it there.
La ilaha illallah.
At night, who buries? Because many people don't know, who buried Muslim ibn Aqeel? A person comes at night, drags the body of Hanit and Muslim to their house, waits for everyone to sleep, and then goes and buries them. The wife of Maytham al-Tammar. Maytham al-Tammar, look at his wife, mashallah. She drags their body to her house, waits until everyone sleeps, and then she buries their bodies where they are now. So we understand from this the tragedy of Muslim ibn Aqeel, and we can get many lessons from Taw'a, from Muslim himself, and to honor his message and to honor the movement that he had, which is a movement that is in accordance with what Allah wants, not with the politics and not with the dirty work that everyone does. And that is where we honor Muslims. Salamullah.
Salamullah. And I think that's a beautiful way to end our talk on Muslim. There is obviously days we can talk about his stance, days we can talk about his message from Aba Abdullah and his rules from Aba Abdullah. But it's a tragedy that I think we do need to shed a tear on. It's a tragedy that I think Abu Talib, our dear brother Khadim ibn Hussein Abu Talib, will bless us in reciting lamentation and Musa'ib in honor of Muslim ibn Aqeel and Taw'a. So we welcome him with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Aba Abd.
Muslim ibn Aqeel performs his last prayer. Hussein. He says to him, Hussein, my master, do not come to Karbala. Your head shall be raised on a spear, and on the dust your head shall be upon a spear. I am Muslim, my master. You had sent me to Kufa. In my hand I held your banner and the sword of your father. By these people was attacked. So be careful, O Aba Abdullah, and my blood shall flow like water. My last word are to you, O Hussein. Do not come to Karbala. Do not come to Karbala. In its land you shall be martyred. In its land you shall be killed. In its land your life will end, and your loved ones will become orphans. Speaking of orphans, we remember Hamida. ساعد الله قلبك يا حسين. May Allah assist you. May Allah assist the heart of you, O Aba Abdullah. When the news of the martyrdom of Muslim and Hani reached him, how much he and the Hashemites wept with him. The women cried so much, so did the orphans. Imam al-Hussein, peace be upon him, said, I count you with Allah, O cousin, O Muslim. He wanted to console his niece, Hamida, the first orphan of Hussein's uprising, who was the sister of Ruqayya's daughter. He entered the woman's tent and asked Zainab to bring Hamida, daughter of a Muslim. He began to comfort her and show her affection and cares her head. This child is clever. She says to him, Oh Aba Abdullah, why do you care for me? Has something happened? Has something happened to my father? He said to her, عظم الله لك الأجر. Your father has been martyred in Karbala. Your father has been martyred. I say, oh Aba Abdullah, you showed comfort to Hamida, but who showed comfort to Sukaina, to Ruqayya, when you were martyred?
Abu Talib for that heartbreaking na'i and musiba and honor of Hamida and Muslim ibn Aqeel. And as he rightly mentioned, in the Masa'ib, Hamida was left an orphan, but so was Sayyidah Ruqayya. Two orphans left without fathers, with fathers slaughtered. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. We say Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah the same way Muslim did before he was killed from the Imara. he looked towards Abu Abdullah's direction. He said, Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah, followed by him being martyred. Inshallah, our last words would be Ya Abu Abdullah. Inshallah, the last words we utter on our deathbed are Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. And I'd like to end the show with us saying Labbayka Ya Hussein. And inshallah, this time next year, you and I, Abu Talib, the Khaddam of Imam Hussein, are under the dome of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein together. And we will be joined after a short break for a few minutes of Aza and Latum. So please don't go anywhere, dear guests. And we'll see you in a few moments, inshallah. Welcome back, dear viewers, to Verses of Love. We thought we'd give you a short break as we are about to welcome Khadim al-Hussein and servant of the pulpit, the reciter, Mullah Rashid Haidar, who has blessed us with his recitations for the last couple of nights and will continue to do so, inshallah, for the next few nights. Like I said, these nights are very heavy on the heart. These nights are nights where you don't want to stop your lamentation. You don't want to stop your crying. You want to go from one majlis to another, to another, to another. So even if Mullah Rashid reads for an hour, even if Abu Talib recites for an hour after him, we will never be tired from this Aza. And I am happy that our dear viewers get to join us on this path and get to join us as we lament and cry and mourn for the tragedies of the Ahlul Bayt alayhum salam.
It's a blessing from Allah Azza wa Jal.
It really is.
And the
It really is.
the luck that we have.
It really
we
is.
cannot thank Allah enough. We cannot thank Sayyidah Zahra enough. And we ask Allah that we remain on this path. Husn al-Aqaba is the most important thing. Our last moments are the most important thing. And we ask Allah we stay on this path.
Truly. People talk about the calamities that happen in the world, but they are secretly a blessing, because now the flag of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is spread across the world. Just in London alone, I can't even count how many majalis there are anymore. And just consistently going on. Even now, while we are talking, what's the time now? Nearly 1 a.m. And there's still majlis going on. And they'll continue till 2 a.m., 2:30.
It's that burn. It's that flame that's in every heart of a believer over the tragedy of Imam al-Hussein. It won't be extinguished unless Imam al-Mahdi appears, where the revenge will be taken in his hand. Otherwise, that red flag will remain throughout the entire year, and it will remain black throughout the 10 days of Muharram. We will never forget Imam al-Hussein. We will never forget Imam al-Hussein.
أبد والله
يا
يا زهراء ما ننسى حسينا ما ننسى حسينا. We welcome Mullah Rashid Haidar with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
In Hussein's ayat, farewell my messenger. In Hussein's ayat, farewell my messenger. From Mecca to Kufa, it ends in Karbala. From Mecca to Kufa, it ends in Karbala. Hussein cries out, oh my cousin, what game has Kufa played? O writers of Kufa, upon my household's blood you weighed. In my eyes if he is preyed on, then on me you have prayed. And if he sways from his horse, it's as if the world has swayed. He calls out for Hussein, Hussein's tears of blood rain. He calls out for Hussein, Hussein's tears of blood rain. Written is the future, it ends in Karbala. Written is the future, it ends in Karbala. In Hussein's ayat, farewell my messenger. In Hussein's ayat, farewell my messenger. From Mecca to Kufa, it ends in Karbala. From Mecca to Kufa, it ends in Karbala. Alone in the city, and if he finishes prayer, the only support left for him sleeps in his ayatih. Even if he turns his head and all helpers disappear, Kufa's mosque and sky and desert cry, O Muslim, we're here. He reads Falak and Nas, his sword cries, Ya Abbas. He reads Falak and Nas, his sword cries, Ya Abbas. And he begins the war. It ends in Karbala, and he begins the war. It ends in Karbala, in Hussein's ayatih. Farewell my messenger, in Hussein's ayatih. Farewell my messenger. From Mecca to Kufa, it ends in Karbala. From Mecca to Kufa, it ends in Karbala. He rises and refuses to be his own tragedy, and within him ignites the blood of Khaybar's family. His allegiance and his zeal is a thing of beauty. He draws his sword and begins the battle with O Ali. Written upon his palm, Ali's my first Imam. Written upon his palm, Ali's my first Imam, and I'm his defender. It ends in Karbala, and I'm his defender. It ends in Karbala, in Hussein's ayatih. Farewell my messenger, in Hussein's ayatih. Farewell my messenger. From Mecca to Kufa, it ends in Karbala. From Mecca to Kufa, it ends in Karbala. Muslim battles alone, yet the hundreds he endangers. If ever he tires, then Hussein alone he pictures. Oh Bani Umayyah, I'm of Bani Hashim soldiers, the son of Abu Talib, to no tyrant surrenders. Muslim upon his sword, Shi'i on the blood poured. Muslim upon his sword, Shi'i on the blood poured. In Kufa lives Badr, it ends in Karbala. In Kufa lives Badr, it ends in Karbala. In Hussein's ayatih, farewell my messenger. From Mecca to Kufa, it ends in Karbala. From Mecca to Kufa, it ends in Karbala. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Thank you Khadim al-Hussein Mullah Rashid Haidar. Thank you Sayyid Reda, and thank you dear viewers for tuning in and joining us on this blessed night. Inshallah, we see you in the coming nights where we commemorate the other personalities who had a vital role in the tragedy of Karbala and shaping our lives as they are today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.